know what time it is.
How it all works.
Come on.
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 We can tell what's important to us. We can tell what's important to us by looking at where we spend our time and money. In our family budget, there's a line item for personal development, which corresponds with time allocated on our calendars every month. Books, webinars, conferences, mastermind groups, coaching, and of course, self-paced online courses in subject areas that we want to strategically grow in. Here at How It All Works, we would love to be part of your personal development. We have a growing catalog of free resources available on YouTube, and we're excited to add to them self-paced online courses through our website, kirkrnugent.com/courses. There you'll find training specific to live streaming platforms, live video strategy for remote producers. You'll also find our mastermind group membership, which is a great partner to any of the courses you register for. Thanks to our sponsors, our prices are very reasonable, and we're posting new products every month. Visit today and let's figure out how it all works. What is up, family? It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. I got on my Why I Go Live shirt today. Come on. Y'all need to go ahead and grab that gear, man. Go ahead and get you some gear from our gear page, howitallworks.com/shop. So just go to howitallworks.com. You'll see the links at the top. Go ahead and purchase some of the gear that's there. You'll see this shirt there, along with the shirt I wore last week, along with the shirt I wore the week before. Or if you've seen me in any gear when I'm on Amazon or any of my YouTube videos, sometimes I try to highlight some of the other creators. But man, go ahead and join the community. This one t-shirt it sparked so much conversation. I had it on earlier today, and folks were just asking me, "Oh man, so why do you go live?" I'm like, I'm so glad you asked. And if you're a live video enthusiast, a live video content creator like me, if you're in our DIY video creators community, you want to have this shirt because you want to be able to tell people unequivocally that your live stream is your digital storefront. Your live stream, let me just say it one more time, is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience your greatness than for them to see you do it live, fam. And that is so dope, so awesome. Let's get into our announcements real quick because we got a lot to cover. As I mentioned before, our lineup is stacked for this month. And let me tell you, we are preparing for September. It is proving to be something phenomenal. So on the 1st of August, we had our welcome back. We had a break over the summer. Last week, we did defining your brand, and we had some really good comments and feedback from the community on that one. So we're hoping that you guys will have the same today for our session on building community. Of course, next week, we're going to do automate, scale, monetize, and then we'll close out the month with organic partnerships and sponsorships. Organic partnerships and sponsorships. So we want to make sure you guys are able to join us for all of those. Keep it locked. Okay. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. That's 8 p.m. for my folks out east. That is 5 p.m. for my folks out west, right? So 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. So hopefully you guys can lock it in, come through, hang out with us on Mondays for How It All Works Live, this solo series, and then we're going to get into our regular schedule coming up, and I'm going to talk about that more in our next week's episode. Here is our next item on the list for today, and that is we have our first video creators community meetup. Now, let me just say, because I know on the screen, right? On the screen, it says our monthly meetup is on the second Monday of every month at 8 p.m. That is correct. It will follow our live show. The second Mondays of the month are going to be reserved for our mid-month huddle. So it's going to be a live Q&A session where we get a chance to chop it up, do a number of things. So, and you can see that on the screen right below us. But right after that mid-month huddle, the DIY video creators community, that's my community, will have our monthly meetup. It'll be an hour-long session where we'll dive into all of your questions. If you have not joined the community already, head on over to kirkrnugent.live/member or kirkrnugent.live/support. Either one will get you to the right page and you can join the community there. I think it's going to be a value add for anybody that's on this journey, being in a space of like-minded creators who are also looking to do something with live video. I would love to have you in the community as well. So our first session is going to be this month. Is actually not on the second Monday because that's already passed, but all those in the community have already you've already seen the announcement in the community that our first session is going to be next Thursday. Actually, this Am I saying that right? It's next Thursday, right? Not this Thursday, but next Thursday, right around my birthday. Shout out to the birthday month. But next Thursday, we will have that meeting. Check in the community, log into the community. There is a post in the community that gives you all the details along with the Zoom link. So that's coming up in this week. And then shortly thereafter, we'll have our follow-up, our monthly meeting on its regularly scheduled time on the second Monday of every month at 8 p.m. following our mid-month huddle live show, new content live on the channel. Upload your own background music in StreamYard. This video was launched yesterday on my channel. So want to make sure you guys get a chance to check that out. If you ever want to know where these things are, just go to howitallworks.com. We have our latest videos right on the page. The latest 3 videos, our latest live show, our latest YouTube video, and sometimes our latest Amazon video, depending on what's going on. So those 3 videos are usually right there on howitallworks.com. So if you ever like, I wonder, is there anything new? Let me head over to the page. That we keep that thing fresh. We're constantly updating it. So head on over there. You can actually watch that video right now on that page right now. And I think for those that are using StreamYard, this is a big one. I know some of you may be familiar with it already, but the fact that you can upload background music is awesome. But in this video, we talk about how to integrate it, how to best use it. And we share a few things that may not be readily apparent, right? It doesn't just jump out at you that this means you can do this. I can't give you that right here. You got to go check out the video. Go check out the video, fam. Man, this past Thursday night, we had a blast testing out Ecamm Beta version 4. The feature list is stupid. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we used it to stream, and we actually, in that live stream for our show, we actually found a feature that Ecamm is not even, they're not even advertising it, right? But we showcased that in our live test, late night live test this past Thursday night. So definitely go and check out that video. That video also will be on howitallworks.com. We're going to make sure that the latest YouTube video, that video, along with this video you're watching right now, are on there. So those 3 will be the videos that are on that page right now. So that's what I mean when I say sometimes we have the Amazon stuff on there, but sometimes we don't. So definitely go ahead and check that out. Amazon, as I have said many, many times, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, we do deals and recommendations on Mondays. We do our studio consultation or video consultations on Wednesdays. And you want to email info@howitallworks.com to submit pictures of your studio, and we will showcase them on screen during the show. We'll give you tips, tricks. We'll give you some best practices. We'll share with you some hacks, some different things that you can do to level up or to optimize what you currently have. Maybe even suggest 1 or 2 pieces of gear that are affordable that you can add to your studio that will take it to the next level. So definitely want to make sure you're there for that. And then of course on Friday, we have our studio tour. I give people a behind the scenes look at this entire space. So I want to make sure you guys get a chance to check that out as well. Come and support us on Amazon. Last week we had a blast with defining your brand. And of course, this week we're excited to follow it up with Build Community. And we're excited to dive into that right now. So without any further ado, let's go. The best laid plans, y'all. The best laid plans. Like, I had no idea this video was in between there, right? So we'll talk about a mistake of gargantuan proportions. But hey, listen, I'm glad it happened here. I'm glad it happened with us. I'm glad it happened live, because I want to make sure you guys are comfortable to make those kinds of mistakes while live as well. Man, so many different things. We're coming out of the summer, getting back into the rhythm of sharing and doing what we can. And one of the things I love about our community, right, the How It All Works community, is that there's people of various different backgrounds, demographic, economic status, all kinds of folks in this space that are looking to utilize live video for multiple different purposes. Some of you are faith-based. Some of you are DIYers doing your own podcast, your own live show. Some of you are finance folks. Some of you are health and wellness folks. Some of you are marriage enrichment folks. I love the eclectic nature of our community. And that actually is one of the things, the main thing I should say, that we will be talking about today. And that is building community. In fact, I want to throw this question on screen to begin. And that question says, what is your definition of community? What's your definition of community, y'all? Like, come on, let's talk about it. What is your definition of community? Like, I'm going to just put a little music in the background there while we chat this thing through. But what is your definition of community? Go ahead and put it in the chat. The way that I'm doing the video this week necessitates that I cannot put the chats on the screen, but go ahead and type it in the chat while I give you the Webster's definition. The second question that's on the screen, however, pointing the wrong way, that's on the screen, however, is how many communities are you a part of? How many communities are you a part of? And so here is our definition of online community, right? So I'm asking you in the chat to type in, what is your definition of community? Any community. And then I'm also asking you, how many communities are you a part of? But here is Webster's definition of an online community. An online community or internet community is a group of people with a shared interest or purpose who use the internet to communicate with each other. Online communities have their own set of guidelines and needs, like online community engagement, moderation, and management. Like engagement, moderation, and management. And so one of the things, just as a recap from what we talked about in our previous building an online community session, right? We did that at the beginning of the year in January. Check out that video. We'll make sure there's a link in the description. One of the things we talked about creating a two-way conversation. Creating a two-way conversation, not only in your live shows, but also in the comments. One of the things that I love to do in terms of creating and building community is respond to all the comments. I had a guy hit me up on Facebook just today, and we were chatting, and I said to him, man, I got to be honest with you. You are lucky to catch me on Facebook. I generally not in Facebook Messenger. The best way to get in touch with me is to comment on one of my YouTube videos. Facebook notifications are turned off for me. YouTube notifications are completely on. In fact, those buzz first. And when you comment on one of those videos, the thing for me, what I try to do, I don't farm this out. This is not my VA. This is not my team. None of them are comment. When you get a response from me on a YouTube comment, it's from Kirk. And the reason why I have that notification on is because I don't want it to pile up. I want to be able to get in there and respond in a timely fashion so that I don't have hundreds of comments to respond to, which would then in turn mean I'm not going to respond. And that's one of the cheat codes that you need to do in order to create and build community, to keep that two-way conversation going. And one of the other things you want to think about there is ensuring that as you respond to comments, that you don't leave a period there, that you don't close it. You leave it open-ended so that there is banter. If you check out some of the comments on my videos, there's sometimes 3 and 4 replies. Why? Because I'm asking them more questions. Somebody who takes the time, follow me family, somebody that takes the time to not only watch your video, but to put a comment on your video is in a different bracket of community. Is in a different bracket of community. I'm gonna take this off and put this last one up. I know this is way too long, but create two-way conversations. But one of the other things, the third one there says prepare for tiered engagement. And that means you have community like this on your live show. You have, like I just shared with you, you have the community group, you have membership, which we're getting ready to open up on the YouTube channel. So you have these tiered levels of engagement for your community as well, because some people want more access than just the video. And I'll share with you that one of the top tiers is for you to pay for coaching. An additional tier would be to pay for a consultation, right? Where we can talk through things. We can listen. We have half hour and 1 hour things available And now this is not, I want to tell you, this is not me trying to sell this. I'm saying these are things you want to be thinking about in terms of creating community. I had a guy pay for a half-hour session last week. Somebody who was paid for a session before, he wanted to know how to do, so he had a project coming up and wanted to pick my brain on a couple of things. He paid for a half-hour session. We went through everything he needed to go through in that session and then some. And he shared with me, he's like, man, I want to tell you that our last session, you walked me through some processes for a project that I was getting ready to produce, and it went off without a hitch. And I shared with him, I'm so thankful for that feedback. This is community. This is community. Sometimes we feel that those tiers should not have paid in there. But what we're doing is essentially you're freeing up the creator, and in this case, that would be you, to be able to do this in a more direct fashion, right? When I'm financially taken care of, I don't need to go to work in other projects. I don't need to go do these other things because I am able to focus in on this community that I'm building. And I want to make sure that that's out there. Let me put this second point up on the screen, and that is talking about the types of community. Where are we at here? All right, good. The types of community. All right, here we go. Types of community. And I want you to put in the comments if you believe that there are any others that need to be added here, right? So the first type of community is the support community. And a great example of that is both the StreamYard community and the Ecamm community. Both of them are phenomenal communities. Now, are they without their own issues and struggles, stress, strife? No, they're not. There are some comments that I see in some of those communities where I'm like, man, that's a headache and a half. I don't know if I want any of that. But those communities have taken on a mind and a life of their own, far bigger, far greater than the organizers could ever have imagined. And so the community has its own personality. And what do we mean by support, right? So because Ecamm and StreamYard both can fulfill all of the above, right? All of the things that we have, the different types that we have on screen. Support, discussion, action. They can fulfill all of them. But they're in the community, people ask questions, and their questions are answered by fellow community members, or they're answered by admins or support folks who are in the community just for that express purpose. There's discussion in those communities, right? A discussion community is based around common interest. So a support community, you're able to get help and provide help. And I go in the community, cheat code, I go in the community to answer questions because likely people who want to join my community are in that community. People who like the way I explain things are in that larger community. I just want to siphon off those who need to hear it the way Kirk explains it. So whatever your niche might be, you want to get into those communities and make sure that your voice is heard. You don't just go to those communities to get help. You go to those communities to provide help. And in so doing, your name is known, your voice is heard. People will start to trickle over to your platforms and start to begin to say, okay, this is a community that I also need to be a part of because it's like a subset of this larger community that I'm in. And of course, you want to have some discussion. DIY video creators community, we have these discussion posts. People ask questions. Hey, I'm trying to do this. Hey, I've got this remote production project. Hey, I'm launching this podcast. I've got this live show. And we have these discussions around what it is somebody's doing. And as they say in the multitude of counsel, you can find wisdom, right? There are many voices, many perspectives, many eyes looking at a specific thing, and they all hear and see and pick up different things. And so they're able to share those with you, and you get this wide breadth of perspective in a very short amount of time. So discussion is also a critical type of community, a critical type of community. I think this is going to be a short show today, y'all, because I'm already in my bag today. I'm already in my bag. So the third one is action. You can create a community that is around a specific goal, a specific action, a specific thing that we want to accomplish. You can create an online community or a general community that is looking to, let's say, change the way that the mail system works. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. You can create communities that are around, and we see this in the feedback that we get in the larger Ecamm and StreamYard communities, right? So some of the features that we highlighted this past Thursday from Ecamm are features that have been discussed and talked about a lot in the Ecamm community. So in that case, there's people who are galvanized around this particular action. We want Ecamm to add multi-streaming. And so you have these kinds of community. I don't know if you have any other types that you want to add in the comments, but these are the three that I not only found it as I was looking through doing some light research. Trust me, if you do some Googling out there, the types of community, you're going to see that these are the types that are out there. There are some few others, but I didn't really I felt like they could all fold in under one of these three. Pointing in the wrong direction again. One of these three: support communities, get help and provide help; discussion communities built around common interest where we can discuss what we're doing with this particular thing. Listen, discussion communities include TV shows, right? Like, so I am a part of the CrossFit community, right? Because I love CrossFit. I consume a lot of CrossFit content on YouTube. Part of the Ninja Warrior community. My family and I love American Ninja Warrior. In fact, we've actually gone to a live recording in Atlanta when they were recording there. And so I consume a lot of that content. And because I consume that content, I'm part of the conversation, part of the discussion around what's happening in the Ninja Warrior world, the CrossFit world, or in the faith-based world, right? I'm also a fan of, I'm using all these TV shows, but I'm also a techie, right? I'm a geek. So I love all things gear. I love all things, technology, right? So the merge of those spaces, tech, media, leadership, geek, speaker, preacher, the merging of those are spaces and communities that I find myself a part of. So I'd asked that question earlier. How many communities are you a part of? When you start to broaden the definition of community, start to see, like, I'm a part of a lot of communities. Like, I am West Indian. Okay, so that's a community. I am Jamaican. That's a community. I am African American. That's a community. I've lived in South Africa. Okay, that's a community. We talked about this. Think about this. If you're tracking with the different episodes, last week we talked about defining your brand and talked about mining the gold from your own story. That's why I asked the question, right? Over here, I asked the question, how many communities are you a part of? How many communities are you a part of? Because as you begin to see how many communities you are part of, you know how to formulate your community. You are the brand. But if you don't know you, then you don't know how to brand. You don't know what the brand is. We have to get to know ourselves. And all of the information is right there. We're not talking about digging for gold, even though I do want you to dig for gold, like mining the gold in your story is a thing that I say. But we're talking about just understanding, like, let me write down in the course of a month, these are the things that I find myself spending time doing. Those are all communities that you're a part of, communities that you contribute to, communities that are impacting your life. And as such, because they have impact on you, they will have impact on the community that you're creating. That I think is worthwhile. Let's talk about some of the benefits of community, right? Some of the benefits of community. Let me say this real quick, because loyalty is the number one thing on that list. And one of the things I refrained from doing earlier in the other slides because I did not want to derail the conversation. Anytime you bring up Android and Apple, there's like a whole war, like the knives come out. People are doing all manner of nonsense. They're like, oh no, Apple, I'm an Apple apostle. I'm an Android apologist. It's like, whoa, hold on. Loyalty, community, the benefits of community, one of the major ones is loyalty. Now, Apple is a phenomenal example of this. I mean, there are people who will wait in line overnight to get the latest Apple product. That is ridiculous fanatical loyalty. But that's a whole entire conglomerate. That's a whole organization. That's a whole corporation, right? So some of you may think, Kirk, Apple is a little bit of a far reach, right? Well, what about Beyonce? What about the Beehive? Like, her community is ridiculous. And of course, she just dropped an album recently. So, shout out to Beyonce, 3 cheers for her. I'm not going to do any sound effects, but the idea is creating the community makes it easier, follow me, to drop your product in there. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about in terms of next week when we're talking about automate, scale, monetize. Automate, scale, monetize. When we talk about that, you may think that this thing is all out of order. No, define your brand, build community, automate, scale, monetize, organic partnerships and sponsorships. Follow the trajectory here. The loyalty that you instill with the community that you've created is exactly the place, that's the pedestal, that's the platform upon which you place your product. There are people who have been messaging me saying, hey, Kirk, we love the ebook, 31 live streaming tips to grow your audience. We want another. When is the next version coming out? Can I sow a seed? Listen to me. Can I sponsor your next ebook? Loyalty, value, self-service, feedback, benefits of community. Value, immense, ridiculous, over-the-top value. I shared with you the paid consult session I had with a client last week. This guy said to me, Kirk, I want you to know that when we met last time, you walked me through and that production went off without a hitch. This is community. This is providing immense value. Of course, self-service has to be there. This is the part we talked about before in terms of going into the community to get help and to be of help to others. It is a phenomenal thing when you start to hear your answers from others in your community shared with newer members of the community when they ask questions that other member of your community asked before. Self-service. It becomes a living, breathing organism. It becomes an additional member of your team. It becomes a part of your brand. It becomes one of your selling points for monetization. It becomes the bedrock for partnerships and sponsorships. We're talking about building community. And here's the final, right? Understanding your audience. My next set of YouTube videos come from the comment section of the previous set of YouTube videos because I'm hearing from my audience that they need this, this, and this. So I'm creating videos to be able, the feedback loop in community is priceless. When you focus in on these things, when you focus in on creating a two-way conversation, right? Ensuring that there is support, that there's discussion, that there's action, making certain that your content, both the live videos, the comments, the community interaction are of immense value. Growing people in your community, plucking them and saying, you be a moderator, you be a moderator, you be a moderator, because you have gotten to a place now where you can echo the same sentiments that I echo while I'm live or when I'm not available in the community group. And then you have this component of feedback. That feedback loop, I say this all the time. The best part of live is right after you click end the live show and you're able to review and you're able to look at what you've done and tweak and iterate and innovate You can't do that unless you get feedback. Feedback is an absolutely critical component of your live video journey, of your content creator journey, of whatever you're doing in these internet streets. Sometimes the feedback can be harsh. But when you get feedback from community, right? Folks who have been blessed and are a blessing, it can be a beautiful thing. And it literally, listen, what video should I make? What should be my content? Ask them. we talked about in the Defining Your Brand, we talked about going and asking some friends, what do you think about when you think of me? Feedback. We talked about asking friends, like, when something comes up and you immediately think of my name, what was that thing? That was your homework for last week. I don't know if anybody wants to share that in the chat, if you're brave enough or bold enough to type that in the chat. But that was our homework for last week. The truth of the matter is, the two-way conversations that we are able to create in community means that the end product is never what the creator fully intended. Most of the times I come into this space for our live shows on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time. I have my run sheet. I have my plans, but things will happen in the comments. Things will happen as we go along. Things will happen that I had not planned or prepared for, and it becomes part of the full experience, because the full experience is not just Kirk. The full experience is all of us. The full experience is the community. One of the things I also talked about in that original session, right, was designing moments of significance for your community. The t-shirts that we have for my channel, we don't do Humble on Live. This is a phrase that was said. This was said in a significant moment for our community. Now, that one I did not design, but there are many that I have designed in a way for people to say, you know what? I was there when this happened in the How It All Works community. Are you intentional enough in your building of community that you are designing moments of significance? Are you intentional enough in your designing of community that you have your tiered layers, not for the purpose of monetization? We'll get to that next week, but for the purpose of tiered engagement. There are those who come to the live right now. They're watching right now. They have not typed in the chat, not once. There are people who come to me. I see them. Yes, I'm talking about you. You guys will come to me long after the fact and say, hey, Kirk, remember that live show? Da, 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 da. I'm like, wait, you're watching? Yeah, I watch you every week, man. I catch the replay. I never miss your stuff. I never see them in the comments. That doesn't mean they're not part of community, but they are fine with that tier of engagement. And so one of the things that is incorrect about tiers is that somehow the other higher tiers are better. Like somehow the other tiers are somehow superior to the lower tiers. I know that it's hierarchical, so we all immediately go to that. But if somebody is consuming your content, being impacted and blessed by your content, there's no problem. There's no problem. They're buying your ebooks. They're paying for your masterclasses, but you never see them in the comments. There's no problem. They're fine with their tier of engagement, and that's okay. Thousands of people will watch your videos. Do you have thousands in your community? Here's the better question. Can you support thousands in a community? I dare say the answer is no. Tiered engagement is planned engagement. It's a designed engagement so that those who want to come into these other forms of engagement whether it's the after parties or the masterclass or the DIY live video creators group, or they want to take coaching one-on-one, or they just want to book one session every now and again to get a tune-up. Whatever their level is, you have to provide those levels so that community can flourish, can bloom, can grow. And the last piece that's on the screen right there is Community HQ. Creating a space online that allows everyone to know, like, this is where we meet. Like, we know this to be our main hub. And for me, the main hub for How It All Works is howitallworks.com. But a lot of the links on howitallworks.com will take you over to kirkrnugent.com, because we have our community headquarters there. We've moved it off of Buy Me a Coffee. We've centralized it on Kajabi, which is kirkrnugent.com. So our main hub, where I send people to, is howitallworks.com, and the email address is info@howitallworks.com. That needs to be abundantly clear, that your community should be able to rattle off where we meet, how we engage, and what are those time frames for consistency. Mondays at 7 p.m. That's when I have this space. That's when I'm able to join with you guys and chat it up and have these experiences together. And I'm excited for our new lineup with How It All Works being on the first Monday of the month, and then the mid-month huddle on the second Monday of the month. And then we go into Convos and Collabs on the third Monday of the month. And then the fourth Monday is a mystery Monday, right? We may or may not do an Amazon Live, or we may have some random pop-up live show. But you just have to, Mondays at 7 p.m. The community knows. Let me go check and see what Kirk's doing. Let's see what we're talking about this week. Let me see what nuggets of wisdom I might be able to glean. Let me go and engage in the chat with the community. Having your community headquarters is absolutely critical. And having the community headquarters is critical, but just as critical is the consistency with which you are meeting in those spaces. Consistency. Stefan Lubinsky was on the show, and he said this is a quote that I have in one of my shorts on YouTube, where he says, consistency trumps skills and gifting every day. Consistency trumps skills and gifting every day. Because if you are consistent, you can get consistently better. Somebody who's just has this freak of nature ability to do a specific thing, but they don't have the discipline. They don't have the consistency. Like, I love when so-and-so live streams, but I never know when they're going to go live. Their shows are phenomenal. Their content is off the chart, but now I have no clue. I can't set a clock on it. I don't know where to find them. I can't, there's no email address, there's no headquarters for the community. So when I'm ready to ask a question, nothing happens. I type a comment underneath their YouTube video, no reply. Consistency trumps skills and gifting every day. Skills and gifting are important. Talent is important. But consistency coupled with those is a winning combination. An absolutely winning combination. Listen, fam. We've had a really robust discussion on some of these items here, and I don't see any reason for us to take the full hour. I'm spent. I'm burnt out. So many different things that we want to have going in September that we're working hard to churn out in August, and so I hope that you guys are praying for your boy. I hope that you guys are sowing seeds of support in whatever way that takes shape, right? It doesn't have to be monetary, but if you do feel, inspired to share some funds, go ahead on over to kirkrnugent.live/support and whatever quantity you want. It could be $5, it could be $200, whatever you want to do. Rodecaster Pro 2 is out there. I would like to buy one. I'm letting my community know. I have been able to engage with you in the comments as much as I usually do. And that is for a specific reason. This week, really just wanted to kind of get in and get out because I will be traveling and really just wanted to knock this thing out real quick. I love this live video strategy series. As you can tell, I live and breathe this stuff. This series is what I do in my coaching sessions. We go far more in depth. We have activities and assignments, and I've got one coaching client who's actually nearing completion right now. I'm so excited about where she is and all the different things that she's been able to accomplish. And I would love to see more of you come through and check it out. But man, it's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Excited about community, excited about this How It All Works brand and how it has formed, and excited about you. Excited about your dreams, excited about your visions, your skills, your products and services that you are going to use live video to broadcast to the world. Because your live stream is your digital storefront. And there's no greater way for people to experience your greatness than for them to see you do it live. Now, we have a special treat as we get ready to close out today's show, and that is guests in the studio. This is part one. Part one of guests in the studio is what we have coming up. And just to give it a little preamble, because I don't really say anything in the video. I think I might be in the video once or twice, but just to give it a little bit of preamble, I have a practice, talking about building community, right? I have a practice of anytime somebody comes to my house to visit, sometimes they're from far, sometimes they're local, but anytime somebody comes to my house to visit, I try to have them come into the studio and record something. I have them sit down in the chair, sit underneath the lights, and hit the record button and record something. And you probably wouldn't be surprised, but I'm always surprised when these people who were fighting me tooth and nail, like, no, I don't want to record anything. No. And then you hit record and they're like, hey, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. And it's like, whoa, where did all that come from? And it's one of the ways that I've been able to really inspire people to really get started in doing their own thing. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you guys as we get ready to close it out. But I want to just say a word of thanks to all of you for your time, your attention, and for being part of this community. Join us next week as we talk about automating, scaling, and monetizing for your content. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher, hoping that somewhere in the video today, we got you a little closer to figuring out how it all works. And we'll see you, family, in the next video.
We're going, we're on.
Okay, now it's recording.
Okay, people consume content in different ways. Some like on-demand video where they can pause and come back later, go back 40 seconds to catch a point, or just skip to the chapter they really need. So that's how that works.
Right now, I'm standing in the home studio of my friend Kirk Nugent, and let me tell you, it's just amazing.
All right, y'all, I'm in Kirk Nugent's studio, figuring out how it all works.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Jade, back from Maryland, visiting the Nugent household. I've been away for 6 months, and it's good to come home to my family. Shout out to Kirk and Kanique and Kenzie and Carson.
All right, I'm Jaden Hines.
My name is Derek Nichols.
And the topic today is why the Lakers are better than the Celtics.
Welcome to the Dr. Corns podcast. I'm excited to be here today to share with you some exciting principles of health and wellness.
So first of all, I want to say from this location, welcome to Just John and April.
Even though this is not our studio.
This is not our studio. So this is actually the dream.
Hey guys, this is my princess Kenzie.
Hello.
I think one of the things that's most imperative about today's church is that we need to find ways to make the church progress in a manner that is effective to what's happening today. And I think that too many of our churches are behind the times. We argue progress as if it is a sign of the mark of the beast.
What's up, everybody? I'm in the studio for the first time, and I thought it was pretty cool to see Miss Jones back there. In her picture, she had a quote up there, and she would always talk about how you're supposed to have the end in mind.
All right, hi. I'm Kimon Hines, and this is
Janiyah Hines.
And we're here with, what's the name of your company?
Slade Proud.
All right, what is Slade Proud all about? Tell us about it.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Pastor Paul Goodridge. You can just call me Paul. Yes, I am from London, England. That's why you hear this weird accent. But I am now here living in the United States. So I'm at the home of Kirk Nugent. Kirk has become a good friend of mine. I am getting very, very much interested in broadcast media, in production, but also in the organizational side of things. So I've come here to his studio, kind of check things out. There's some things that I do like in terms of the setup, the lighting, etc. I'm going to be taking some pictures afterwards. I have just started getting into editing with Adobe Premiere. So I'm just, fledgling as far as that's concerned. I've been thrown in the deep end as far as StreamYard, but I do like it. So I pretty much run Monday through Friday the Get Unrealistic series from Oakwood University Church. But Kirk has taught me some new things that I'm going to try, and we'll see what happens there.
And now we're standing in this space. Here's what's on my mind, though, as I think about Kirk and as I think about you. I wonder what the next iteration of this is going to look like as Kirk continues to believe not just in the brand name and the tech that surrounds me in this space, but continues to believe in himself. And if we pause, we got to think about, well, what does the next iteration for you look like? What could truly be possible if you start taking the next right action today?
Listen, I'm just telling you how impressed I am with all of the stuff around here, the setup. It's a clean look, and it's just a way for you to take your technology to the next level. So if you are interested in figuring out how it all works, make sure you connect with Kirk Nugent and Composition LLC. They will have you right. Because when I leave here today, they're going to have me right and broke at the same time.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for letting us come and be a part of this thing. This is seriously, like, how can we rent your studio? Do you rent your studio out to people? You do? Okay.
So
just DM
we need
Kirk.
to do like the whole next season.
That'll be dope.
Just come
and
for a
this
weekend and
just
spam record.
I want to know if I sound better on this. Do I sound better on this mic than I did on the other one?
I want you to bring the faith, the family, the finance, the fitness, the freedom. Bring all that together and begin to invest in it each and every day and make 2022 all things new. Until next time, take care. God bless. I like this. I like this.